Yeah, it's your man Diggy Smalls from the Chaos Crew, the best commentator on all of YouTube. Yeah, I said it, but you know I'm right. Just like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in my sights.
What's going down, everybody? It's your man Pro Diggy from the Chaos Crew, but you could call me Diggy if you like. And I just got a package in the mail this morning, Friday morning, and I'm pretty excited. It's from Scuf Gaming. I got a Scuf Gaming Controller, and I really want to thank JP Palat over at Scuf for really hooking me up here. He did a fucking stand-up job, and I really appreciate everything he did. So I'm going to do an unboxing, and then I'm going to play with it a little bit, and I'm going to come back, and I'm going to let you guys know what I think of it. So let's get right into it. I already cut this apart because I didn't want to dick with it while in the video. This takes more time. Okay, so looks like up here we have a little Allen wrench. That's probably to adjust the triggers. What's this? This is some instructions. Nice little postcard type thing that tells you what it comes with or whatever. That's cool. Okay, so here we go. Oh, look at that! They even give you batteries. That's fucking cool. I don't need them because I use a play and charge kit or whatever, but at least I can use the batteries for something else, so that's awesome. Okay, so here we go. I got the Scuf Elite, and I did get the blacked out buttons. I was like, fuck it, might as well. It looks pretty sexy like that, so went and did that. I didn't get the domed thumbsticks just because I don't need them. I got my FPS Freaks, so I'm going to put those on there as usual. But it's just a basic, standard Xbox controller. They just make it look really sexy and everything. Anyway, they're guaranteed no slow turns, so that's really cool. I'm looking forward to that. Then we go to the back here. This is where really everything's at. We got the two paddles. We got the A and the B over here. I don't know, maybe it's going to help me start knifing again because I don't really knife much since I play on tactical. So we'll see how that goes. And I went and got the Scuf grip on it also just because I was like, fuck it, if I'm doing this, let's just do it. Even though I didn't have a problem gripping my other controller, I mean, I can feel it's soft, but it is very tacky, like where you get a good solid grip on it, so that's pretty nice. Then we've got the trigger stops up here, which stop the trigger from going any further than it really needs to go. I mean, that's far enough to actually engage the trigger, so there's no point in pushing it all the way down. That saves some time there. And then we've got these little screws here that adjust the trigger sensitivity, so you can actually make it to where the trigger goes down just about the point of where it would engage, and you would actually start ADSing or shooting or whatever. So you can actually adjust these to basically just about as soon as you press at all, any pressure, it's going to ADS or it's going to shoot. So that's going to up the reaction times and things like that. I've heard a lot of really great things from friends and from people that use these, so I'm really looking forward to giving it a shot. I'm telling you, the biggest thing I'm looking forward to is the no slow turn. And it actually is perfect because my controller, the left bumper decided to not really work that well anymore. And now I have to push it really hard. Sometimes I have to push it 2 or 3 times to get it to actually use my tactical equipment or grenade or whatever. But I'm going to go play with it. I'm going to check it out, see how I feel about it, and then I'm going to come back and let you guys know. All right, and we're back. Okay, so it's been a couple of days since I actually got my Scuf in the mail. I wasn't able to play with it the first day or night or whatever because I was working and I had things to do. But the next day, I was able to get in a pretty decent session, a few hours long, and really put some time and get a feel for the controller and everything. And my 10th game or so, somewhere around there, I actually ended up getting a Moab. Now, it's not like I got the controller, all of a sudden I'm a beast, I'm just dropping Moabs on everybody's heads and shitting on scrubs constantly or whatever. It's not going to turn a beginner into a pro. It's not going to make an intermediate into a pro, but it can step your game up a notch or two, There are some really great things about it that can improve your game. Now, first thing is the no slow turn. I love the fact that they guarantee no slow turn. If you don't know what slow turn is, I'm not going to explain it because it's kind of a long explanation and I just don't want to explain it right now. But the guaranteed no slow turn is awesome. The blackout buttons, that's just for aesthetics, just to look at or whatever, but I got them anyway. Then we get into the good stuff. Okay, so we got the paddles here. I've got the Scuf grip on it, and I've got the trigger stops with the adjustable triggers and everything. Now, first, let's start with the grip. The grip is absolutely amazing. It's perfect. It's not too sticky. It's not too slippery. It's not like if your hands are sweaty that it's going to make your hands slippery. I mean, it's actually just a perfect feeling. It's smooth, but it's got grip. Like, I don't know what material or substance this is that they use for this or whatever, but it's awesome, and it feels really good in your hands. That's what she said. But I like it a lot. I wasn't sure if I was going to get it, but I was like, you know what? If I'm going to do this, let's just do it. So I had them put the Scuf grip on there, and I'm glad I did. Okay, the next thing, let's get into the paddles. The paddles actually didn't really help me in my MOAB gameplay, but because I wasn't used to them. I mean, it takes some getting used to. When you have muscle memory that you're used to hitting A to jump or B to knife or whatever, it's tough to break that. I'm learning to break it, but it's tough. So I wasn't doing any fancy like jump, drop shots or knives or anything like that in the Moab gameplay. So the paddles didn't really help my gameplay. I'm sure, it may in the future once I do get used to them, because I'll be able to jump without taking my thumb off the aiming stick, or I'll be able to knife without taking my thumb off the aiming stick. And that can save precious time or milliseconds or whatever between jumping and then being able to go back to aiming, and vice versa. So the paddles, like I said, I haven't really had a chance to utilize them yet, but I'm sure when I do, they'll be pretty cool. So the main thing that I think is about the adjustable triggers and the trigger stops. Now I'm going to show you here. This is how my triggers are adjusted. This is all I have to do to shoot. It starts shooting immediately when I hit the trigger, and it only has to go down so far. So what that does is, if you look at the normal Xbox controller here, there's a lot more that you have to do in order to, shoot or ADS or whatever. And you actually don't start shooting with the trigger until it gets to about there, like almost halfway. That's when it actually engages and starts shooting. We're talking milliseconds, but that's still time. I mean, when you play a fast-paced first-person shooter like Call of Duty, for example, those milliseconds can turn into, the difference between winning or losing a gunfight. So this definitely can give you a little bit of an edge, as far as like winning gunfights and things like that. And it's just, I don't know, it just feels really nice once you get used to it to just barely have to hit the trigger, and it does what it's supposed to do. So that's definitely something that I really like. I can't say anything bad about the controller. I mean, there's only one quote-unquote flaw, and that's if you use a chat pad. I stopped using mine about a week ago because I called ahead, and I know that you have to modify the chat pad in order to get it to work, but I'll show you guys what the problem is with the chat pad for those of you that use it, if any of you do. But when you go to connect the chat pad, this little plastic kind of like fin here, if you can see, it goes up under the paddle, and you can't depress the paddle once it's under there. So what you'd have to do in order to continue using the chat pad with a Scuf controller would be you'd have to cut kind of like straight along this line here till you get to about the curve area, and then go straight up. So you basically have to get rid of this piece of plastic here, and then you'd be able to use the chat pad. It's not like it's going to make it where the chat pad just falls off because there's not that little piece of plastic there. There's still plenty more to grip the controller, and it's got these little nubs here that go into little holes on the back of the controller. So if you use a chat pad, that's the only kind of drawback, is you'd have to modify it a little, but it's really not a big deal. Most people probably don't even use them anyway. So that's all I can really say. I mean, it's a great controller. If you can afford to get one, absolutely go for it. Even if money's a little bit tight, you can actually send in a normal Microsoft controller that you play with. You can send it to them and have them scuff it up however you want. You can have them put the grip on it, the paddles, the trigger stops, blackout buttons, dome thumbsticks, whatever they do to a controller, you can have done to yours, and it's a lot cheaper. I think it's like about $75 or so to get your controller scuffed up, depending on what options you add to it and all that stuff. But that's a cheaper option, and they'll still make sure 100% the controller works perfectly. There's no slow turn. They'll do it. It'll be just as good as getting one from them, but it's cheaper because you're sending in your own controller. So anyway, that's pretty much it, guys. I do recommend them. If you can get one, go for it. You won't be disappointed. I'm definitely not disappointed. Before I go, I just want to give one big thanks to JP Palat. I hope I'm saying your last name correctly, by the way. But he hooked me up super, super fat on this Scuf controller, and he's a super cool guy. Everybody over at Scuf that I've talked to is actually really, really cool people, and it's really nice to have a company like that you can just call and people will talk to you and help you out. and you know, not have any issues, and their customer service is amazing. So if you can get one, get one. I want to say thanks to the guys over at Scuf again for hooking me up. This has been your man Pro Diggy from the motherfucking Chaos Crew, but you can call me Diggy if you like. Don't forget, as always, to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in my sights.